Okay, Assalamualaikum to all of you. Okay, now I would like to move to chapter 2, which is business ethics and social responsibilities. Okay, in this chapter, in this chapter, it presents a discussion of business ethics, the role of a formal code of ethics, as well as business approaches to social responsibility. Okay, so the chapter also it will discuss how the concept of social responsibility applies both in environmental issues and also to the firm relationship with the customers, employees, and also investor, and how the issue of social responsibility and ethics affect the small business. Okay, so just because others see something as ethical, okay, ethics is just like something that others see something as ethical doesn't mean you will agree. Okay, ethics ni something like walaupun orang nampak ianya ethics, tapi doesn't mean that you will agree. Okay, there is not always a yes or no, right or wrong, black or white answer for to everything. Okay, so we all develop a personal code of ethics that we carry over into our jobs. Okay, so sometimes we decide what is ethical based on what is the acceptable to others. Okay, tak semestinya all the ethical are accepted by others. Okay, and even though the behavior may be unethical. Okay, so here in this chapter we talk about the business ethic and social responsibility. Okay, so what is ethics actually? Okay, before we start this chapter, I will say that in this chapter they have five parts, which is first you will cover about ethics in the workplace. Okay, ethics in the workplace is about individual ethics, business and management ethics, assessing ethical behavior, company practices, and also business ethics. Okay, the second part is social responsibility, where you will cover the stakeholder models of responsibility and also the contemporary social consciousness. Okay, and then the third part is about area of social responsibility. This part you will learn about the responsibility towards environment, responsibility towards the customers, responsibility towards the employee, and also towards the investors. Okay, next part is about implementing the social responsibility program. Okay, like approach to social responsibility, and also how to manage a social responsibility program. Okay, the next part is social responsibility, which is the last part. Okay, social responsibility and the small business. Okay, so may I start? Okay, this is the after reading this chapter you should be able to answer all these questions. Okay, ethics in the workplace. Okay, what is ethics? Okay, what actually means ethics? Okay, ethics is a concept, is different from morality. Okay, ethics is something which is important in life, what more in business. Okay, of course dalam life kita pun ethics is very important, tambah lagi in business. Okay, so like we can compare and contrast the concept of ethics from western and eastern perspective. Okay, so here like macam kita western, kita eastern, cara kita, our ethics is quite different to compared to western. Okay, we often reflect and ask ourselves some basic questions. Okay, sometimes some basic question ni semua ni relate to ethics lah. For example, like how should I lead my life, what types of person should I strive to be, what values are critical for me to lead a rewarding life, or we say that what standard or principle should I follow in order to conduct my life. This all is how kita nak jawab soalan ni semua is actually ethics. Okay, we need ethics to lead our life. We need ethics to to conduct our life. Okay, and so on. Okay, so and also our self-reflections and conscious is addressing this personal issue will immerse us to study whether it's right or wrong or moral reasoning. Okay, so actually ethics is about what is right and wrong, which you prefer to follow. If you think it is right, you will set it as your ethics. Okay, and then okay, so here ethics and business ethics. Okay, ethics believe about what is right and wrong, or goods and bad in action that affects others. Okay, and business ethics refer to the ethical and or unethical behavior by employee in the context of their job. Okay, so okay, here ethics in the workplace. Okay, ethics ethics is in the workplace is behavior that conforms to individual belief and social norm about what is right and wrong. Okay, so is social norm is like macam social standards, whether what is right, what is wrong. Okay, and then unethical behavior is when the conforms to individual belief and social norm about what is defined as wrong and bad. Okay, unethical when you do a wrong thing is automatically we call it as unethical. Ethical when you do right things or good things. Okay, just simple as that. Okay, so proceed to next slide. Okay, before I proceed, this is managerial ethics. Okay, individual ethics are based on individual belief, okay, and social concept, which is thus they vary by person, situation, and culture. Different people, they have a different perception, different concept, they are different person, right? So different situation and culture. So we learn ethics. Okay, ethics ni datangnya the build of apa orang kata datang ethics is we learn from school during our childhood. Okay, from the culture, from the family, from our parents. Okay, that is ethics tu datang dari kita, dari diri kita, is which come from family and so on. Okay, so next is okay, also if you see in your textbook in page 65 is ambiguity, the law and the real world. Okay, societies adopt formal law that reflect ethical standards. However, in real world, situation are not sometimes difficult to interpret. Sometimes kan kita dah set, okay, macam in our life ni kita hidup dalam keadaan kita hidup dengan ada undang-undang. So sometimes the situation is difficult to interpret. Okay, world is different. Law kita dah set, but sometimes what we face in the world is different. Kadang kita susah nak difficult to interpret when kita apply in law. Okay, so individuals, values and codes. Okay, it is in your textbook in page 65. Individual personal code of ethics are determined by combination of factors. Okay, because we start form ethics, ethical standards. So it's from our childhood, we learn from family, from school, from working place and so on. Okay, so there banyak factors to determine, okay, individual values and codes. Okay, so here in the textbook say our perceptions of behavior of parents and other adult. Okay, So we are influenced by peers, and as we grow into adulthood, experience shape our life in and also contributes to our ethical belief and our behavior. So we also develop values and morals that contribute to ethical standards. Okay, there is individual values and code. How do you form your ethicals, which is through childhood, peers, at working place, and so on. Okay, next we go to the business and managerial ethics. Okay, here managerial ethics. Uh, Managerial ethics standards of behavior that guide individual manager into their work. Okay, this is behavior between behavior in between towards the employees, behavior towards the organizations, and also behavior towards the other economy agents. Okay, so managerial ethics ni are the standard of behavior to guide the individual managers into their work. How kita nak guide manager ni to lead their job, okay, which is which is to guide manager to lead the organization. Actually the right word is to lead the organizations. Okay, so behavior towards the employees. Behavior towards the employees, this category covers hiring, firing, wages, working condition, and privacy and respect. Okay, example like you have to be you for example like bias in the working place is one of the example of unethical. Okay, you must be fair to all your employees, to all your staff, and so on. Okay, and also another one situation when it comes to unethical, where you offer a vacancy, but then at the end you hire your own family. Actually ada lagi candidates yang which is more lebih layak untuk to replace that post, but you hire your own family. This is called as also unethical. Okay, that's a behavior towards the employees. Example, you have to be fair to them, you no bias, respect. You must pay them with the sepatutnya gaji yang patut dia dapat. You must reward them if they perform. Okay, so next is behavior towards the organization. Okay, behavior towards organization, normally these ethical issues also arise from the employee behavior towards the employer. Okay, especially such as area of conflict of interest, confidentiality, and also honesty. Okay, this conflict of interest occur when an activity may benefit the individual to the detriment of the organization. Many of organizations have policies that forbid buyer and other personals from accepting gift from supplier or customer, thus avoiding even appearance of bribery. Okay, these things is happen when the conflict of interest ni, when for example like you are working in team, but then everyone bekerja-kerja nak kenaikkan pangkat ke and so on. That's we call conflict of interest. Means that you are not doing your job to achieve the organisation goal ke apa, but actually you bekerja semua tu is for your own, not for the organisation. That's we call conflicts of interest. Okay, it means that your responsibility towards your organisation you put aside. Okay, that's we call conflicts of interest. That's one of the example. Okay, so next point is behavior towards other economy agents. Okay, ethics also come into play into relationship between firms and a numbers of primary agents of interest, such as customers, suppliers, competitors, stakeholders, dealer, and unions. Okay, next is next slide. Okay, assessing ethical behavior. In order you want to assess the ethical behavior, of course you have to go through all these steps. First you have to gather the relevant factual informations, You have to analyze the fact to determine the most appropriate moral values, and also you have to make ethical judgment based on the rightness or wrongness of the proposed activity or policy. Okay, means that it's a process that you often recommended when making ethical decisions. Okay, this is what you have to do. In order you want to make ethical decision, you have to go through this step first, this process. First you have to get the information, then you have to analyze the facts, then and also to determine the most appropriate moral values, and the last is to make a ethical decision which is based on the rightness or wrongness. Okay, although ethical judgment are not always easy to make or even always agreed upon, but this process does at least will give a good starting point for ethical decision making process. Okay, so next is model of ethical judgment making. Okay, this is model of ethical judgment making. Okay, this provide mechanism for dealing with unique circumstances. Okay, those that apply only in limited situations. Okay, if you see in this model, they are applying ethical norms, or we call it as an ethical standard, which is utility, rights, justice, and caring. Okay, first, if you see in this model, the first step is gather relevant factual information. Step 2, analyze, and step 3, make ethical decisions. Okay, then step by step, what you do during your gather the information. First, you have to add the policy acceptable according to the 4 ethical norms or ethical standards, which is 4 things: utility, rights, justice, and caring. Then next is you have to analyze whether it's yes or no. Is it all this criteria that we needed, or only 1 or 2, or all? Then you make a decision, which is you act or policy not ethical, or the act of policy is ethical. Okay, utility is the particular of optimize the benefit to those who are affected by it. This is all the question that you have to get the information. Okay, you have to gather the information. Okay, next is company practices and business ethics. Okay, many companies set up codes of conduct and develop clear ethical position on how the firm and its employee will conduct the business. Okay, so they have 2 of the most common approaches. Okay, which is adopting written codes and also instituting ethics programs. Okay, okay, adopting written code is where almost all major corporations have written codes of ethics. Okay, most of the organizations, if you see, they have their own written codes where all the people inside the organization, inside or outside, they have to follow the same codes. Okay, example like here, codes of ethics, Morgan Kinder Co. Okay, I think this company is US company. They provide service, photography service. Okay, so this is the written code, which is golden rule. You have to be honesty, reinvent, quality, accountability, positivity, individuality, and conclusion. Okay, this is one of the example. You can read your own. And then instituting ethics program is ethical response can be you can be learned through experience. Company must take the responsibility to educate employees. Okay, more and more companies like Boeing, ExxonMobil require manager to go through regular. This is example. Boeing and ExxonMobil is require manager to go through regular ethics trainings in order to remind them about the importance of ethical decision making, and also to update them on the current law and also regulations. Okay, this is where instituting ethics program, you provide programs, ethics program for them, okay, to train them, and also always to update them the current law and also regulations. Okay, so there's two different approaches to formalize top management commitment to ethical business practice. Okay, next is adopt. Okay, this is one of the example, another example, which is HP brand. Okay, their written code is: we have trust and respect for individuals. We focus on high level of achievement and contributions. We conduct our business with uncompromising integrity. We achieve our common objective through teamwork, and we encourage flexibility and innovation. Okay, this is HP written code. Okay, this is what they're adopting, the written code. Okay, I hope you guys clear. Okay, so as a conclusion, individual ethics vary by persons. Okay, by persons, by individuals, by situations, by culture. Okay, what is acceptable and unacceptable is broad enough that people may develop varying behavior without violating general standards. Okay. Okay, next is this is the core principle. Core principles and organization values. Okay, this figure, if you see in your textbook pada which page? It's page 70. Okay, this core principle organization values is this illustrate the role that corporate ethics and values should play in corporate policy. Okay, you can use it to see how a good ethics statement might be structured. Basically, the figures suggest that although strategies and practices can change frequently, an objective can change occasionally, and organization core principle and values should remain steadfast. Okay, this is what they mean. Okay, which is kalau you tengok dekat your slide ni, okay, if you see the strategy and practices revise frequently change. Okay, selalu ada revise frequently, and then organization objective also sometimes it change infrequently, but the core principle, the organization values, the ethics, it won't change, unchanged. You have to follow. The ethics is once it's already set, you have to follow sahaja. You don't have to change it. Okay. Okay. Next is social responsibility. Okay, social responsibility it refers to the overall way in which a business itself tries to balance its commitment to relevant groups or an individual in its social environments. Okay, this is what it means. Okay, to tries to balance its commitments. Okay, so how? Okay, here the stakeholders model of responsibilities. Most companies strive to be ethically responsible in 5 main groups, which is employees, customers, investors, suppliers, and also local and international communities. Okay, so how they remain the, I mean that they how they handles, how they be ethic towards their 5 main groups ni is here. Okay, let me show you. Okay, this is the stakeholder model. of responsibility. Who is the stakeholder? Stakeholder is the customers, employees, investor, suppliers, and also local and international communities. This we call stakeholders. But how we handle it, how we be responsible, ethically responsible with them. Okay. First we go for customers. Okay, customer is the critical factors. Critical factors include charging fair price, honoring warranties, and also standing behind product quality. Okay, so you as a seller or as a business people, how do you be ethic with your customer is you have to be fair with them. You must be honest to them. Okay, honest in terms of the price, quality, warranties, and so on. Okay, about your product and your service that you offer to them. Okay, that is ethics. Kalau lah contohnya kan, you jual barang, you cerita bagai lah kata, okay, skincare product ni is boleh putih dalam you pakai, is apply on your skin dalam masa 5 minit boleh automatically putih, which is automatically we call it unethical because you lie to your customers. Okay, you are not honest to your customers. This is one of the example unethical. Okay, or you write something on your labeling on your products, you cakap you promise ni sekian, but at the end bila your customers using your product, apa yang you promise is not apa yang diorang dapat as a end of the result. So it shows that you tipu, means that you are unethical. Okay, that is what is ethics towards the customers. Okay, next is employees. Employees is how you treating workers fairly, making them a part of the team, and respecting their dignity, promote company reputations. Okay, at the same time you have to promote the company reputation, but you have to treat them fairly. You have to respect them. Okay, and making a part of them, making a part of a team. Okay, so this is how you treat your responsibility towards your employees. Okay, those like for example those kerja good performance, as you promise, those who are good performance you will reward them. So you have to make sure that at the end you have to reward them, those yang perform. Okay, for one example, or you have to be fair to all of your employees. You tak boleh ada bias. Okay, because she is cantik, so you focus more to her. No, you have to be fair to all of your employees. Okay, investor pula is manager must follow proper accounting procedures, provide appropriate information to shareholders, and also manage the organization to protect shareholder investment. Okay, example like investor. Your company, you are the investor. It means that you have shareholders who invest their share in your company. So at the end of the year, you have to provide the financial report where you have to share with your shareholders how much is money in and out, the performance of the sales, how much of profits, and so on. Okay, so you cannot hide the accounting report. I mean that you tak boleh ada, means that you have to be transparent with them. Okay, transparent in the report. Okay, you tak ada benda-benda yang nak selindung ke apa. And then supplier is partnership arrangement with supplier can enhance market image and also firm reputations. Okay, which is create mutually beneficial partnership arrangement with supplier. So this is where you have to be responsible. You have to care your supplier because they provide you raw material, they provide you barang. So you have to must jaga the relationship. How do you jaga? Is on time payment, price acceptable by both party. Okay. And then local and international communities. Okay, this is contributing to local and also global program. Okay, has a positive impact on the community. For example, like you do a donation, you involved in programs and charity. And for example, yang kita nampak like macam running and cycling event, okay, your company sponsor, or fun runs and also marathon, okay. That is the example of the local and international communities, okay. Next is contemporary social consciousness, okay. This is the concept of accountability where the view towards social responsibility continue to evolve as manager work to meet the needs of various stakeholders in their business practices, okay. So contemporary ni I'm not emphasize sangat. We go to next, which is areas of social responsibilities, okay. Areas of social responsibilities, okay, in this part is responsibility towards the environment, okay, towards the environments, towards the customers, towards the employees, investor. This is the areas of social responsibility, okay. This is how the concept of social responsibility applies both to environmental issues and to the firm relationship with the customer, employee, and also investor, okay. First is environments, the responsibility towards the environment, which is air pollutions, water pollutions, land pollutions, okay. Air pollution is, if you see in your textbook ada, is stated there in page entrepreneur okay, it's page 74, okay. Air pollution is under new law. Many companies must install, this example that in your textbook said many companies must install special device to limit the pollutants they expel into the air, okay. Example like your responsibility towards the environment, example is air pollution, okay. For example, like you are the manufacturer, you involved in manufacturing, so of course the smoke that you produce can cause of air pollutions. So this is how you, what is your solution to avoid the pollutions, okay. That is we call as responsible towards the air pollutions, okay. You tak boleh because of you think about your production itself, you think about your profit, you never care about the environment, which is unethical. So this is all included in ethics, okay. How do you behave, how you responsible towards the air, towards the environments, okay. Next environment that you have to be responsible is water pollutions. Water pollution increased awareness of chemical and waste dumping, and the resulting danger has led to improve water quality in many areas of the country. Contohnya kalau kita tengok isu in Malaysia, kalau kita tengok sungai kat Kelang tu kotor, lots of chemicals semua, banyak factory they throw their chemicals all toxic semua dekat, toxic waste semua dekat sungai. Okay, this is called unethical because you are throwing all the chemical toxic semua kat sungai. Habislah kehidupan sungai tu. Habislah kotor sungai kita, betul? Okay, that's one of the example. And next is land pollutions. Okay, actually it's over here, okay. Actually it's over here. Land pollution, which is toxic waste disposal and also recycling, okay. What you have to do in order to responsible towards the land, because we have to save our land, we have to save our planet, so we do recycling, okay. Contohnya macam proper toxic waste disposal and recycling program are allowing companies to help to restore land quality and also to prevent the further contaminations, okay. Okay, next is responsible towards customers. Okay, responsible towards customers. Okay, you pernah tak you have you heard about the customers or consumer always right? Okay, because consumerism is a social activism dedicated to protect, okay, to protect the rights of the consumer in their dealing with the business. Okay, itu yang kata consumer rights. Okay, when you dealing with the business, you are responsible. No, when your customer dealing with you, you are the business. Okay, business people, you are responsible towards them. You have must always must make sure that you must set on your mind that they are always right. Okay, of course sometimes benda tak relevant pun, but you have to explain to them to ensure that they satisfied on you. Okay, that's why they said consumerism, your consumer always right. And unfair pricing, unfair pricing pula is collusions. This is two or more firms collaborate on such a wrongful act as price fixing. Okay, collusion ni macam you bersubahat lah, bersubahat in between you and your supplier ke, by fixing the price. Okay, fixing price. Price gouging occur when firm respond to increase the demand with the steep price increase. Okay, price gouging ni is, if is it in your textbook ada ya, is consumerism. Okay, here. Okay, price gouging occur when seller increase the price of goods or service or commodities to a level much higher, which is much higher than the is considered reasonable or fair. Okay, that's we call price gouging. Okay. Okay, so you must be fair with the price. You cannot tipu your customer. You increase the price. Okay, and then especially commodities product, and then or last unfair pricing, pricing gouging. Ethics in advertising, is it over here ada tak ethics in advertising? Okay, no. Okay, in your textbook also not includes ethics in advertising. Oh yes, it's in in page 78. Ethics in advertising, which is consumer deserve to be given product information that is truthful and can be proven. Okay, as well as information that is not morally objectionable. Okay, you have to make sure you are businesses, you are doing advertising, make sure it is, you must set your mind that consumer are deserve to be given the product information. Okay, you must clearly provide information about the product, how to apply the product, the content of the products. Okay, and so on. Okay, then responsible towards the customer, unfair pricing. Okay, the elements of green marketing. Elements of green marketing. Okay, businesses are increasingly recognizing the looking after the environment is a good marketing. Okay, as a result, businesses are now concerned with the numbers of environmental factors like production process, products modifications, carbon offsets, and packaging reductions, and also sustainability. Okay, this summarize the central elements of so-called as a green marketing. Okay, the marketing of environmental friendly goods. Okay, product. Okay, now we go for the first point, which is production process. This is the most ethical things a business can do is use scarce and valuable resources well. Okay, so businesses often invest in new production technology so that resources are used more efficiently. Means that you have to fully utilize the resources. Jangan ada pembaziran atau pembuangan. Okay, the raw material, the resources that you have, you must fully utilize. So this is the first point. The second point is product modifications. Product modification is the product can be modified to make them more environmental friendly. Okay, one example like contohnya packaging, food packaging like polystyrene. Before this you nampak banyak guna polystyrene, but then we change to and we modify by using paper packaging, okay, or organic materials, which is more safer than you use barang-barang macam polystyrene, okay. And then carbon offset. Carbon offset is many company are committed to offsetting the carbon dioxide produce their product by buying carbon offset. Okay, contohnya if you see in your textbook, they give example of Volkswagen. Okay, Volkswagen. They said here carbon dioxide. Okay, in 2007, Volkswagen began a program of planting trees in the so-called Volkswagen Forest in the lower Mississippi alluvial valley to offset a carbon dioxide emission of every car they sell. Okay, this is one of the good example. Okay, Volkswagen, they come up with the Volkswagen Forest, which is the tanam pokok untuk to offset the carbon dioxide emissions, okay, in each of the cars that they sell. Okay, very good, Volkswagen. Okay, and then packaging reduction. Packaging reduction is reducing and reusing materials in another important strategy for green marketing. Okay, for example, like in your textbook they say like Starbucks. Okay, Starbucks are using the important strategy for green marketing. They give what is it here? Coffee retailer the first ever approval to use recycle material in its food and beverage packaging, means that they use the recycle packaging for their food and beverages. Okay, example is Starbucks. And then the last point is sustainability, which is using materials that that are sustainable is also a strong marketing tools of the many companies. Okay, like Whole Food Market is committed to using the agriculture product that are sustainable. Okay, so but unfortunately not all of green claims made by some companies are legitimate, and some companies promote a green image in their advertising because they want to increase the sale without making any real changes in their corporations. Okay, kebanyakannya if you see this, we call as a greenwashing. They doing this they applying and they doing this environmental friendly ni semua is to increase their sales actually. Okay, not so really on nak save the environment ke apa. Actually they want to gain more profit, okay, to increase their sales. Okay, next is this is consumer bills of rights. Okay, this is consumer bills of rights, consumerism. You can read your own. Okay, next is responsibility towards the employees. Okay, a company towards the employees. Okay, a company that provides its employee with the equal opportunity without regards to race, sex, or other irrelevant factors is meeting both its legal and its social responsibilities. Okay, so legal and social commitment, for example, like recruiting, hiring, training, promoting, and compensating are the basis of the social responsibility towards employees. Okay, so here they said, okay, it is in your textbook, is page 78. Okay, it's also said that whistleblower is an employee who discover and tries to end a company unethical or illegal, or we call it irresponsible action, okay, by publicizing them. For example, like macam whistleblower ni kan, like a person who inform a person or organization regarding as engaging in unlawful or immoral activity. For example, like you are working in the organization, then you saw or you find out there's one of the staff in your organization, they accept rasuah, bribery, and so on. So what you do is you complain to SPRM and you publicize it. Okay, this is called whistleblower. Okay, is in your textbook is chapter page 79. Okay, chapter 2, page 79. Okay, that is how you're responsible towards the employees. Okay, you have to be fair with them in recruiting, hiring, trainings, promoting, and compensating. Okay, next is the okay, here in this slide also said that responsibility towards employee provide opportunity to balance work and life, pressure and preferences, help employee maintain the job skills, yeah, by providing training for them. Opportunity to work balance, which is you have to promote them, okay, reward them, and treat terminated or lay off employee with respect and compassion, which is when you want to lay off your staff with the respect, you tak boleh tak bayar gaji terus, okay, start from tomorrow you don't have to come to work. You cannot say like that. You have to respect them because they have their own commitments, okay, and so on. So you have to inform them 1 or 3 months earlier. You have to follow the ethics that you set up, okay, and then you must pay the compensations and so on. Okay, next is responsibility towards the investor. This is insider trading or misrepresentations of finance. Okay. Okay, unethical manager might project profit in excess of what they actually expect to earn. Okay, hide loss or hide the expenses in order to boost a proper profit or slang financial report to make the firm seem stronger. That is really in the case of the unethical lah. Okay, which is you misrepresentation of the finance. Okay, which is you hide the losses or expenses, okay, from your investor, is one of the unethical. Okay, insider trading, or you doing with the insider trading, which is you use the company money for your own business, which is unethical. Okay. Then the proper financial insider trading. For example, okay, insider trading also occur when someone use confidential information to benefit from the purchase or sales of stocks and so on. Pun one of the insider trading. Selain daripada you use the money of the company or you expose the confidential information, so one of the unethical issues happened towards the investor. Okay, next is approaches, the 4 general approaches to social responsibility, okay, which is obstructionist stance, defensive stance, accommodative stance, and also proactive stance. Okay, this is where what we call it, that organization can take concerning in obligations to society for along the continuums or ranging from the lowest to the highest degree of social responsibility practice. Okay, so here the lowest, this we call spectrum of approaches. Okay, lowest level of social responsibility and highest level of social responsibility. Okay, if you apply this obstructionist stance, means you are going to low level of social responsibility. If you are practicing approach proactive stance, which is you are in the level of highest level of social responsibilities, which is your responsibility towards the social are high. Okay, so here the explanation of each of the approaches. Okay, obstructionist of stance is the organization do as little as possible to solve social or environmental problem. Okay, maknanya dia do as little as they is as possible lah. Okay, in order to to solve the social and environmental problem. Defensive stance organization will do everything, okay? We do everything that is required of them legally, but nothing more, okay? However, accommodative stance is a company, the organization meet it legal and ethical requirements, but will also go further in certain cases saja. Okay, that's called accommodative stance. However, proactive firm that adopt the approach take to heart the arguments and take the hard arguments in favor of social responsibility, which is a company actively seek opportunity, okay, opportunity to contribute to the well-being of groups and individual in a social environment. Okay, so this is 4 different types of approaches that usually used to implement the social responsibility program. Okay, and many corporates at the social responsibility have been court order. Okay, the use of the, for example, like the use of the biodegradable packaging. Okay, one example may not be choice of individual companies, but rather mandated by the government as mean as to protect the environment. Okay, kadang-kadang ianya is acceptable, but then because of the law, government law, you are court order. Okay, next is managing social responsibility program. Okay, manager must take step to foster social responsibility. Okay, which is, this is the step. Okay, you have to you have to making a social responsibility a factor in strategy planning. You have to develop a plan, detailing the level of management support. You have to putting one of executive in charge of the agenda, and also the last, which is number 4, you have to conducting occasional social audits. Okay, social audit is systematic analysis of the firm's success in using fund earmarked for meeting its social responsibility goals. Okay, that's called systematic analysis. Okay, audit, social audit. Okay, this is the 4 steps that you have to include when the manager to foster the social responsibility. Okay, they must take this step. Okay. Okay, next is social responsibility at the small business. Okay, before that, for your information, social responsibility program must be initiated and also supported by the top management. Okay, ultimately the social responsibility program involve everyone in the organization. Even though they must initiate the program, the responsibility program must be initiated by the top management, but everyone have to involve in the organizations. Okay, and then next is okay, this is the last slide. This is the how issue of social responsibility and ethics will affect the small business. Okay, so social responsibility and the small business. Okay, many big business responses to ethical and social responsibility issues apply to small businesses. Okay, differences are primary differences of scale. Okay, apa yang bezakan adalah scale, whether it's a big or small. For small business, ethical issues are questions of individual ethics. Okay, because they are small. Okay, but in question of social responsibility, they must ask themselves if they can afford a social agenda. Okay, maknanya normally for small businesses, their responsibility towards the social is quite different compared to the big scale like big business. Okay, so Small business owners are faced by the same ethical dilemmas as a large company that we more frequently read about. Okay, so it's important that small company develop ethical policy and procedures like their larger counterparts. Small businesses can often get advice from trade organization or state government in order to help them to develop the ethical codes of practice, because small businesses normally they have a small scale, so they also can create, they can code their ethical, but they can get an advice from the trade organizations or state governments. Okay. Okay, and then that's all for this chapter. I hope you all guys are clear about it. If you have a question about regarding this chapter, you may ask me during the class tutorial and so on. Okay. Thank you very much for listening.